WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard, North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pest and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378.
You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
Oh, I grabbed my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing it on and on. When the sun shines all day. Caught me a grouper. Stop fishing it on and on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Rizkala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Good morning, everyone. Another beautiful morning here in South Florida. My goodness, nice and crisp. I actually opened up the windows and the doors to the studio because it is so cool and so pleasant out there. I hope that you will get out there and enjoy it, because what I understand is we have another front coming through in the South Florida area here shortly, and weather is not going to be the best that it has been. And so we can always take advantage of what we've got. So anyway, good morning, everybody, and a great big good morning to you, Devin Canhigh.
Good morning, everybody.
Made it right on time, my friend. Anyway, we have a great show lined up for you, as we normally do, and don't want to pat myself on the back, but that's what we do. Another great show lined up for you. We'll be looking at our friend Robert from the Florida Fisherman's Magazine. He'll be on, tell us a little bit about what's going on up around the state, and if there's any new tournaments going on that we're not aware of. We'll have Mike Jones on. Mike is primarily a freshwater man, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the Okeechobee area. We're going to have Patrick Manigal. Let me say that again. Boy, I couldn't. Patrick McManigal. I apologize, Patrick. And he is with Glow Pro Lures, a very unique product. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he's got and what's going on in his area. And then we've got the one and only Kyle Sikora with Dockside Fuel Service. A very, very, I don't know how to describe Kyle. He is one of them that is him and his dad, caring individuals, a very easygoing kind of guy, seem to be the kind of person that you could easily rely on and know that if he tells you he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And let's see, who else have we got today?
Then we have
down there to Carolyn.
Carolyn from Atlas Tracks.
Carolyn with Atlas Tracks. I think this is the coolest product. I asked her to come back on because she's just come up with a new product now. It's called the Tether, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that. So we have a wide variety of people. If you'll notice, we've cut down the number of people, and that is to allow the people that are on a little bit more time. So we have a little more time to discuss it. And if people have a question, they have the opportunity to ask that question. If you go to our website, fishfloridashow.com, you will see that there is a chat board there. And if you have a question or a comment, you can put that on. It comes directly to us. All of the shows are archived. You can find them on fishfloridashow.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Fish Florida Show. What else? Oh, on Facebook. That's right. We're on Facebook.
Like that Facebook?
And what else, Devin? Where else are we, Devin?
Well, it's early
Sunday in the morning. He hasn't had coffee, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard, but it starts with...
Yep, haven't had coffee this morning. I went fishing all the way till 2:30 in the morning last night, so it was a fun night last night.
You got to get the clouds out. Well, one of the other places you can find us is on the Fish Florida app. I tell you, he hasn't had coffee yet.
Give the Facebook a like. Download the app, free app.
Yep.
Boatloads of information on there. And if you guys want to join us on our chat room on
fishfloridashow.com,
it's a live person answering. It's one of us will answer it. Feel free to send me any question you have. Send Riscala. If you have a question for one of our guests, you're more than welcome to ask them, and we'll be more than happy to answer it to you.
Yep, and we monitor that live, so any questions or comments are welcome. And it's an opportunity for you to interact with us and tell us a little bit about, well, I found that interesting. No, I thought that was boring kind of thing. And we can, it's between the two of us, we'll figure it out, and we'll make the show even better than it has been. So we're looking for your interaction. We're looking for your feedback. You can always find us on Facebook. You can leave us a message there. If you want to email me, you can email me at the word me, M-E, at riscalastevens.com, RISCALLASTEVENS.com. And I'll be happy to accept your email and reply as quickly as I can. Our first guest should be calling in just a moment, and that's going to be Robert Warner. Excuse me. Robert Warner is, like I said, he's with the Florida Fisherman's Magazine. Going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in his area. So we should be hearing from him in a moment. So tell me a little bit about this fishing at 2:30 in the morning.
Well, we started fishing about 7 o'clock. We did a little shore bay shark fishing last night. Had a really fun night, really active night.
And what'd you get?
Yeah, overall, one of the other groups that we were fishing with, they stayed out there, but I cleared out at 2:30 in the morning. We ended up landing 5 sharks total.
Wow.
Yeah, not a bad night.
What species?
I'm gonna keep that on the wraps. Keep that on the wraps. We've landed everything from bull sharks down.
Wow. Did you happen to see any white?
Release?
You know, I hear that there's white sharks off our coast.
There are. It's that time of year for the great whites. They migrate down our coast and around in through the Gulf, and some of them go a little further south, and then they make their route back up north. It's not uncommon to see some white sharks off our coast this time of year.
Yeah, when I first heard that, I thought that was, like I go back to Jaws, like, oh, that's just people playing on Jaws,
Yep, we are on the middle to back end of the blacktip migration. It's a yearly migration. The blacktip sharks, they're smaller sharks. They move down from the Carolinas, come all the way down, and they come down in by the thousands.
Have you seen the videos? They have videos of these sharks are migrating, like the ones that you're describing now.
Oh yeah.
And oh my goodness. And then there are people swimming in the water, like maybe 100 yards away. They don't even realize that these sharks are there.
Oh yeah. There's the surfers will be out there surfing with them. It's very rare you'll see an attack from a blacktip.
Yeah, I've heard that because the water is clear down here, that they seem to recognize humans aren't really there.
Yeah.
It's not their typical form of food.
Yeah, they'll go after smaller bait fish. Their mouths are very, very small, and said they really don't bother humans too much. Everybody will see it, and every year you'll get people freaking out. Oh my gosh, a shark's in the water! But you got to remember that's where they live. So
Yeah.
we don't have flippers or gills.
And I was amazed at how many of them were in the water. And now I don't know who. I know who told me this. Dennis told me this. He says that they have an aircraft. I'm trying to remember how he explained it to me. An aircraft, I think, that flew from Fort Lauderdale all the way up the east coast of the state up to Jacksonville and videotaped these things. And then they take that tape. And I don't know if this is true, but I found it as really funny. They take this tape and they give it to a college or something, and they have students who literally count the sharks so they know how many manually count the sharks.
Oh yeah, so they know how much is in the migration group. So you get some schools of them that you'll see some of the schools are almost in the thousands.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the video. I'm going, my goodness, how do you do that? How do you sit there and count each one? All right, don't count that one. I counted that one, or don't count this. That is crazy. When he told me that, I thought, my goodness. So it really does. That's how they do it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And maybe what we'll do is I'll find a video and we'll share it on the Facebook. So if anybody's interested in watching how those blacktips migrate.
I've seen the migration. I'd like to see the video of them counting them.
I sure do have a couple of videos of the migrations. We'll share that on Facebook for you guys so you can see exactly what we're talking about. But along with that is what happens is they follow the mullet run, they follow the bait fish, they follow the tarpon. It's that time of year where all the fish from the north, they migrate down here, and it's just the normal breeding pattern of these fish.
And how far offshore are they?
Not far at all.
Yeah,
not far. A couple 100 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say 300-400 maybe.
Sometimes they'll be even closer than that.
Oh my goodness!
Within 100 yards in the morning. Sometimes, depending on the beach you fish, you'll stand out on the beach and you'll see them jumping right from the about 150-200 yards offshore.
Wow!
You'll see them even running the shoreline, just depending on where that bait is.
How long does the migration go on?
The migration starts usually at I want to say sometimes middle to end of January. Mainly in February it gets really thick, and then it runs all the way through April-ish.
Really?
Yep.
So we still got a while with this thing.
Oh yeah, about another month of it. They won't be as thick as they are coming down through the season. Like I said, everything starts to slow down with the black tips stat-wise, but you get some that are local and that hang out, but mainly this time of year it's a great time if you ever want to go catch a blacktip. It's a time of year too.
So they're swimming south. How far down do they swim? Do you know?
No, not exactly.
And I guess it's an all year what am I trying to say? Like an all year, I can't think of the word. Progression
Cycle?
where they swim like in a
Yeah, well,
cycle.
you got to remember these fish they're considered HMS, high migratory species. So they'll swim down, they'll swim through, they'll do their thing further south, and then, it takes a whole year for them to
come back.
And do the pattern.
I take it they split up, they mate, then they split out and do their thing.
I think they just mate, and then they what they do is they mate, they feed, they fatten back up, and then they head back up north again.
Wow.
On a different pattern, and we don't see them till the next year.
So if I'm just kind of guessing at this point, if I were to go out and do some shore fishing off the shore, not offshore, but off the shore itself, I should be expecting a lot of sharks.
Yeah, you'll see quite a bit of them this time of year.
Are they going to interfere with the fishing itself, do you think?
They have interfered with even offshore fishing. They'll interfere with offshore fishing. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. So you're gonna, if you're going after like a yellowtail or whatever might be out there on the beach, you're gonna have to either horse it in really like a missile.
Even if you're offshore on the boat, if you're in 100 feet of water and if you're fishing, so sometimes if they're there, you'll have to pay the tax man. It happens.
You have to bring that thing in like a missile because it's going to be chasing it.
The man in the gray suit.
Yeah, my goodness. Wow. Oh, gee. All right. Well, I guess Robert is having issues because he's supposed to have called in already, so we'll be looking forward to contacting him and seeing what happened. We'll just kind of continue on here. Anything else that you want to bring up while we're thinking about it?
What else is new with your week?
Oh my goodness! Well, this whole last week, I think I shared with you this morning. I took my grandson fishing for the first time in his life.
Oh wow! How'd that go?
It was really everything that I have is very, very light. I did that on purpose. The reel is an open bill reel, very, very light line. I think it's 10-pound test on the line, and the rod is a collapsible rod, like a telescoping rod, and perfect for him. He's my goodness, I think he's 8 or 9 years old. Jeez. Anyway, we went. Victoria was kind enough to allow us to fish off of her dock. So we went to Victoria's place, and that sounds like a restaurant, Victoria's. Anyway, I went there, did some fishing. He caught about 1.5 pound catfish. He was ecstatic. He didn't know what to do. When he first took the fish, he started screaming, and then I had to kind of show him how you pull the rod up, and then as you bring it down, you reel, and you pull it up and bring it down and reel. So he finally got the hang of that, and he brought up this fish, and he was real excited. Until the fish, how you catch the fish and it's kind of flopping around on the line, and it's coming towards him, and he starts to freak out. He didn't know what to do, but he got over it, and it was a great time. It was a great bonding time. This is the kind of thing that I try to tell people. This is something that you can do with your children, your grandchildren, your family. It's something that the family can enjoy.
Fishing doesn't have to be elaborate. If you've got a lake or a pond in your backyard.
Oh my goodness, this was simple stuff. This was a piece of shrimp on some line. I don't even think we put weight on it because we were back there on the dock and we weren't affected that badly by the current, and just dropped it over the edge, and in 5 minutes or so we had a fish.
Yeah, there's a lot of parks in Florida. Once you have your fishing license or at least your shoreline license, and a shoreline license for Florida residents it's free. So if anybody's interested, if anybody wants to get a shoreline license for saltwater, it's free. For Florida residents,
the government is giving something away from now.
Yeah,
that's impossible.
You just got to pay the. I think it's $2 is very nominal.
Oh,
for
there
the
we
processing
go.
fee.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's free, but you have to pay the shipping and handling charge.
Don't start with the government, okay? They still got to print your license for you. It's a good thing Florida does for us.
Oh, my. So I just learned something. Thank you, Devin. I was not even aware that there wasn't, what is it?
A shoreline license.
A shoreline license. Yep, so what that allows you to do is what? Fish like canals
you fish, you can fish the whole beach line, you can fish bridges, you can fish docks, anywhere that you don't have to be on a boat for, Florida residents.
Wow. I thank you. I did not, that's my ignorance, Sean, but I did. I'd rather be honest with you and tell you. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything. So I have a saltwater license.
Yeah.
That allows me to do that
and offshore. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. That's great because I thought it was really very unfair to charge people that wanted growing up, my dad used to take us, I shared this with you several times, and my dad would take us fishing all the time. And it would be typically not offshore, but off the shore itself,
Yeah.
and off of a bridge, off of the shore, below the bridge, or canal, saltwater canal, stuff like that. And I thought it was really unfair. Why won't you charge these? I mean, I understand if you're going out to the deep, that's a little more understanding with regard to charging them for a license. But people who typically fish like my dad fished, I just found it unfair. So that's great that you told me about that. Wow. I learned something new, ladies and gentlemen. Hot dog. All right, we're up against the break. And don't go away. We will be right back. It's the Fish Florida Show with Riscala and my co-host, Devin Canhigh. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
When selling your luxury home, you need someone who understands your expectations. Someone familiar with the industry, who can sell your home faster and get you the best price. Someone who can provide you with a full-service brokerage firm. That someone is Devin Canhigh with Exit Realty. Devin is a veteran who has grown up in South Florida and spent his life in Palm Beach County. With Devin's marketing strategy and his network of contacts, you will be pleased at how quickly, smoothly, and easily your home can be sold. Not sure what your home should sell for? With Devin on your side, you will receive a free evaluation. Call Devin today at 561-281-9138. He's ready to serve your needs and expectations. That's 561-281-9138. Devin Canhigh with Exit Realty, 561-281-9138.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF radio network. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is me, Devin Canhigh, with our host, Riscala Stevens. Riscala, are you still with us? You still awake?
Waking up. You know, you were saying you were up till 2:30. I was up till almost 2 o'clock last night. I do the political show that I do on the other network, and it's not over until midnight. And between getting the recordings uploaded and everything else, before I knew it was close to 2 o'clock. So I'm right there with you.
Yep. So, well, I'm going to be out on the beach. Well, not on the beach. I'm actually going out on the boat today fishing. So that's I'll have a good report for everyone next week on what's going on out there. But I heard the bite was still good. I heard there've been a good cobia bite this year.
Was it you that told me with these sharks migrating, they're going to chase things like cobia and wahoo?
No, what happens with things, they won't chase wahoo, they won't chase cobia, but they will chase the smaller bait fish. They'll chase the bluefish run is still going on right now. They'll chase bluefish. They'll chase the Spanish mackerel, those smaller species like that. But a good thing, when those black tips are coming down, the bigger sharks follow them too.
Huh.
And What cobia like to do is why cobia is I want to say it's the hot fish for the week.
Mhm.
Cobia actually follow those sharks. They're opportunistic feeders, so they'll follow under them. That's why that's why the cobia bite's been pretty good so far. I still heard there were some sailfish being caught out there. Also,
is cobia kind of like a scavenger? Do they, like, if the sharks go through and have a feeding frenzy, they'll go in and clean up after them?
yeah, I would say they're opportunistic feeders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought they were like strictly like predators. They wanted live bait. They didn't want to, and they didn't want leftovers.
If you're getting a free meal, and you're a fish in the ocean, you take that opportunity.
Yeah. They don't want the crumbs. That's what I thought anyway. So we've got a lot going on out there right now with regards to, the ocean and, the sea life and everything that is moving. So I'm wondering now, with this, the migration, I take it that, probably people who want to fish the light side of the reef are going to have to be very cautious because these things are going to be right around the corner.
Yeah, you just have to watch where you fish. You'll see the black tips. They're running massive schools. But, this time of year, like I've said, a lot of people fight off the sharks between everything else. And, you will see a good, the other day there was a good wahoo bite too. So don't rule that out. I know we're on the 0 phase of the moon. Today we should be in the, 1% phase of the moon.
You've mentioned the moon and fish before, and this might sound like an ignorant question, but really, how much effect does it have? If you could measure it, for example, on a full moon and then measure it with no moon, is there a drastic difference between the two?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. You'll ask any fisherman out there. Moon phase there's a few things that play a big role in fishing.
Wow.
The moon phase, barometric pressure, and the tides. Those three things really, once they get synced up and you know the right times to fish, it's, you'll end up catching some really nice fish if you play the phases correct.
Wow. So, I've always thought that, again, this is my ignorance and I'm learning. You've taught me something already this morning. I've always felt that fishing on an incoming tide is the best to fish. Is that, we're fishing like drift fishing. Shore fishing.
I'm gonna have to start charging you for all this information.
You're gonna have to what?
Start charging you for all this information. Giving away all this free good information. So if you're shore fishing, or if you're inlet fishing too, the inlet fishing, the best time to inlet fish is on the top of the high tide, and then you fish through the slack and the top of the out.
Cool.
That's the best time to if you want to inlet fish.
When it's full high tide.
Coming up right before the full high tide, like about 45 minutes, and then you have like another hour to fish there at the slack.
Yep.
And then another like 45 minutes right before the tide picks up. Yep.
So 45 before and 45 after.
Yeah,
and
you got to remember that's when the tail end of the fish, they're just moving in through the inlet. You'll also have that slack tide where you don't have to have so much weight on the bottom. You can really feel the bite. And the tide.
That's the way I like it too. I like it light. I like it when it goes down light. You can feel just about anything goes on. All right, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mike Jones on with us with Mike Jones Guides Service. And are you there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Thank you for taking the time to call in. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show. And I have my co-host on. Go ahead.
We're out here on Okeechobee this morning. It's a little foggy, but we're starting out a good morning. A lot of fish rolling. A lot of fish moving. We had a good day yesterday. We're catching them on artificial up here on the north end of the lake, but it's been good this morning so far.
Mike, tell me a little bit of what you guys are catching. What's the bite like, and how are the water levels?
Well, the water level's dropping right now. We're fishing in probably 2 foot of water, and the water's clean. We're catching bass, largemouth bass, and probably by the end of this month, 1st of April, the bluegill and the shellcracker will be moving in to start spawning.
Very nice, very nice. So what artificials? What's this time of year? I'm not a big freshwater guy. What colors, what techniques do you guys like to use in that skinny water?
Well, early in the morning, I like to throw a Zara Spook a popping frog, Yozuri. I mean, not Yozuri, but Spro, popping frog. A lot of Charlie's twitching shads, a lot of Charlie's swim baits, the zipper dippers and the big dippers, stuff like that on top water.
So the I've fished those Charlie's worms before. They make a good product there.
Yeah, they do. They've been making Charlie's worms for a lot of years, and it's back up and going again really good. They've even got a saltwater line of baits now, shrimp, pompano jigs, stuff like that, because I use a lot of them when I guide in the saltwater too.
Nice. Have you done any saltwater fishing lately?
Yeah, I've been up there in the Indian River catching snook and redfish and sea trout on
Very nice,
top water.
Oh, that topwater bite is amazing first thing in the morning.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, we've been doing, we've been catching, 20, 25 sea trout in the mornings on top water. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, that's a good bite. 20, 25 sea trout. I fished a tournament a few weeks ago. I was fighting for a bite.
Wow.
I was fighting for a bite. I mean, I fished everything. We threw top water. We threw some soft plastics. We ended up getting our fish, but
good.
It was we were fishing really skinny water, less than a foot in some places. Hole and troll areas.
Yep.
So
but
what?
We're having a lot of fun out here on the lake. The lake's really good. The water's cleaning up, and we're averaging 30 to 40 fish in 4 hours.
Wow.
For our trip, on artificial.
So what are your color choices this time of year on those artificials?
Well, we're throwing a lot of white, a lot of pearls, shad patterns, sexy shad stuff. I throw a rattling rogue a lot. It doesn't go but about a foot and a half of water, with a blue back, silver side, white belly, and just catch one right after another with that jerkbait.
Wow. And you said when you're throwing the Zara spook or the frogs, are you working that around the lily pads area?
Well, we're out in the open flats right now because the fish are still spawning. I mean, we're seeing a lot of beds right now, and you just work it right over the top of those beds, and those bucks will come up there, and they'll just blow that thing out of the water.
Oh yeah, when those fish bed, they're very territorial of their areas too.
Oh yes, yeah, we've got a lot of fish on beds up here right now, and it's surprising to have all these cold fronts in March like we're having.
Yeah.
But this morning it's foggy. We can't even hardly move around this morning. They're catching a lot of crappie out here. I caught a couple crappie yesterday on jerkbaits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the crappie bite has been phenomenal this year. I mean, yesterday I caught a crappie that was 15 inches long.
So that's a big crappie. That's some good eating.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My goodness. So, Mike, I take it that you do this as a service, right? Because as I introduced you, you have a guide service of some sort, right?
Yes, that's what I do for a living. It's MikeJonesGuideService.com, and I do freshwater and salt, and my son's a full-time guide too.
And is there a number that they can call to reach you?
Yeah, it's 863-261-5243.
How what's the temperature like today?
The water temperature, the air temperature when we put in this morning was 54 degrees.
Wow.
But yeah, it was nice and chilly this morning.
Yeah.
But the water temperature right now is 65.5.
Wow.
So yeah, it's good for the artificial bite because they like that 65-degree water.
Wow. That, like I was telling Devin earlier, I'm learning as we go along here. So I'm thinking when it's that cold, they're down deeper. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, it's
not necessarily. When it gets cold, there's really on Okeechobee, there's not very many deep places for them to go. The Kissimmee River, Harney Pond Canal, Taylor Creek, Indian Prairie Canal, places like that, you know, that's a little deeper. But what they do when it gets cold, they'll go up in these mats, these reeds. These reeds got a lot of hyacinth mats in them right now, and they hold heat. So they'll get up underneath those and just hang out in that warmer water up underneath those mats. But right now they're all out here in the open, you know, getting ready for this next full moon to spawn again.
You know, now it's funny that you mentioned the moon, because just before you came on, Devin and I were having a discussion about how much the moon has an effect on the fishing. And so in your opinion, let me ask you what I asked him. If we were to have a full moon versus a no moon evening kind of thing, and you're fishing on both of these days, do you see a drastic difference between a full moon and a no moon?
Oh, yes. With a full moon, we do a lot of night tournaments. This time of year, we have a night tournament on Lake Osborne, and every time we have a full moon, I mean, it just, they feed all night long.
Wow.
When there's no moon, they feed, but they don't feed because they can see better in the full moon at night than they can during the day.
Good point.
See?
Yeah, good
and the
point.
bait fish can't see as good at night as the bass or the snook or any other, you know, fish like that.
Good point. That's something I didn't think about, because Devin and I were discussing the same thing just before you came on, and he basically led along to the same thing, that the full moon has a distinct effect on the fishing, and that fishing under a full moon would be better. Saltwater, we're talking about saltwater now, would be just definitely better than fishing on a no moon night at all, right, Devin?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're out on the water right now. Are you catching anything right now?
We've had a couple blow-ups this morning, but like I said, it's been foggy. We haven't really been able to move around too much because we can't see, and we don't want to run over somebody or get run over.
Oh, yeah,
but
please.
The fog's lifting, but as soon as this fog lifts and the sun gets out, they'll start biting again.
So, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so we talked about colors earlier. It's like when you're in that clean water, I like to use the brighter color. Some people would think it's the opposite. Are you about the same, Mike?
Yeah, I like to, I mean, in this clean water, a lot of times I'll throw a white swim jig, you know, with a white trailer, or I'll throw a black and blue swim jig in this clean water with a dark black or blue trailer.
Yeah, and for me, it's the same thing when I'm throwing soft plastics. If I'm inshore, because I do mainly saltwater. If I'm inshore fishing, the water's clean, I'll throw the lighter colors, or I'll throw a dark speckled trout color. But if the water's dirty, I'll throw the browns when I do that. The root beer color. Root beer's a great color.
Oh yeah. I throw a lot of DOA root beer terrorizers in the saltwater up there behind Harbor Branch catching tarpon.
Oh yeah, those terrorize, man. They fell off in popularity, but they will still catch fish. You could do the little, you could work the bottom. You can do slow hop with them. You can make them do anything you want.
Oh yeah, the snook love them too. I get up there behind Harbor Branch in that idle zone in that channel right there, and the tarpon are there year round, and boy, they like that little root beer terrorizer.
So you mentioned tarpon. Let me ask you about the tarpon. When you're fishing for tarpon, what kind of gear are you using?
I'm using regular, the same stuff I use out on the lake, bait casters with 65-pound braid with probably a 30 to 40-pound leader. And just, set your drag, and, the tarpon up there aren't really that big. They're, 50, 60 pounds, but they're a lot of fun on light tackle.
You aren't kidding.
Tarpon are a blast to catch. You can get anything from a little 2-pounder, all the way up to, ones in the hundreds, but every fish, once you have your tackle set accordingly, they're so much fun. They put on a great show in the water. That's one fish, even if you don't, get it to take a picture with it, just the fight it's amazing.
Yes, it is. It's just, if people have never done it before, just to do it is fantastic time. And just to, even if you don't land them, just to see them jump 2 or 3 times is the best part.
That is, we went to a place in, I think it was Islamorada. I'm almost certain it was Islamorada. And, it was getting dusk, and, you could see these things chasing the, finger mullet and coming out of the water and going back in. It was, they're beautiful fish. All right. We are up against a break at this point. Mike, thank you so much for calling in. One more time before you go. one more time before you go. Phone number and the website.
MikeJonesGuideservice.com, and my phone number is 863-261-5243. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Fish Florida Show with Riscala and Devin. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
You've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit Habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Hello, I'm Hector Elizondo, and I want to talk to you about getting older. My body hurts, my joints ache, and sometimes I forget. I forget that doing all your own scenes for a movie isn't always the best decision, especially when you're galloping high speed on a horse named Archibello. So yes, my body hurts, but it's not because of my age. It's because I'm living my life.
Don't let life pass you by. Take care of your brain health. It may just help you stay on top of your game.
Oh, Archibello!
Learn more at brainhealth.gov.
Hey y'all, Cedric the Entertainer here with Niecy Nash, taking a break from shooting The Soul Man to introduce you to Patience.
Hi.
Patience is a patient at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for anything because all a family should worry about is helping their child live.
St. Jude won't give up until they end childhood cancer, sickle cell, and other deadly diseases.
Because of you, there is St. Jude.
Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Adkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com.
WDBFradio.com.
Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Fish Florida Show, and it is an honor and privilege to be with you. I have my co-host with me, Devin Canhigh. Good morning, Mr. Devin.
Good morning. Halfway through the first cup of coffee, feeling much better.
He's awake, ladies and gentlemen. The eyes are lighting up, and he's starting to move. Anyway, it is a gorgeous morning for us here in South Florida, on the East Coast. I don't know what's happening elsewhere, but here in South Florida, it is just a beautiful day.
I tell you what, this is one of those picturesque moments of Florida, and this is one of the main reasons why I live here.
Yeah, we've got the back door is open, the front window is open. Just really a beautiful day for us to be out there and enjoying this stuff.
You know, one of the main reasons I live here too is because I don't have to shovel snow.
Yeah. I can't deal with the cold. I was stationed in Denver, Colorado for a while when I was in the Air Force many years ago, and you know how it rains here? It'll be just like this right now, and then 15 minutes from now, it looks like the world is coming to an end. Right?
I will take that world is coming to an end rain over the snow any day.
Well, in Denver, it can be like 50 degrees, 58 degrees, and in 15 or 20 minutes it can drop cold enough to where it'll snow. I mean, I experienced it. I went, oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't deal with the cold. Anyway, we're on to another guest that we're going to have on this morning who has a very interesting product. His name is Patrick, and he has a product that is with a company called Glow Pro Lures. Patrick, good morning, and thank you for calling in. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show.
Oh, good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about Glow Pro Lure. I have to say it slowly because if I say it too quick, I keep thinking it's GoPro, and it's not. It's Glow Pro Lures.
Yes, exactly. We're not the camera company. We're actually a fishing lure company that has glow-in-the-dark lures, so you can actually fish them with or without glow-in-the-dark. We use small chem lights, small chemical glow sticks is what we actually use to illuminate those lures.
So the glow sticks are inserted into the lure?
Yeah, you actually have glow stick options. We have many different baits. We're kind of leaning heavily towards bass fishermen, obviously, but we actually catch a lot of walleye. We catch a lot of salmon up here on Lake Michigan. So yeah, it's kind of a multi-purpose lures, but we have a little something for everybody. We have jig kits for crappie guys. We have like a little bit larger baits. We have a very unique soft lipless crankbait, which is shaped similar to a rattle trap or cotton cordell, but it's a soft body bait. So it's just a fantastic bait. When the bass and walleye hit that bait, it's a soft-bodied bait with a great wire-through design. They have a tendency to hold on to that bait a little bit longer. So we've just been doing phenomenal with that bait. One of our favorite colors on that one is Sam Rayburn Red. So the guys have really been tearing it up out there with those.
When you mentioned that these are glow, I want to go back to something we used as kids. Is it like a glow stick, like the things that we used to take and break in the middle and the thing would shake it and the thing would glow?
That's exactly what they are. Yeah, they're micro glow sticks, miniaturized glow sticks.
Micro, okay.
They're not as big as the old-fashioned glow sticks. What's really cool about these, you can break these, and they last about 24 hours. So if you go out fishing for 4 or 5 hours one day, you can actually remove the glow stick and freeze them, and then they stop glowing, and then 4 or 5 days later, you can warm that glow stick back up, and they reignite, so you can actually use them for about 24 hours.
Now, I'll tell you, I'm learning as we go. I didn't know you could freeze these things.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yes, okay, so I've learned that now.
Cool little tricks.
Now I've learned that you have, what are they called, micro?
They're micro glow sticks. They're very, very tiny. So if you notice on some of our baits are relatively small, but you have these, I mean, they're really tiny. They're probably maybe a 1/4 inch to maybe 3/8 of an inch long. And very, very tiny. Yeah, so you can put them inside the soft baits. We use them inside some of our soft plastic baits. Typically, we use them early in the morning when we're pitching around docks, maybe in some lily pads and that. But sometimes we actually use them to illuminate the lure in murky water conditions. We'll fish out by La Crosse in the Mississippi and some of that really murky water, and just getting a good reactionary bite as you're coming by some of those wing dams and that for walleye. It's spectacular.
Wow. I was checking out the soft plastics online. I'm going to have to give these a try when I do some red fishing and some trout fishing down here.
Yeah, we had some guys do really, really well in red fishing down by the Houston area and catching big reds with them down there. So it works. The glow sticks actually do illuminate. You can expand that strike zone with illumination, and then we have some unique topwater baits. You can add some water to them, and you can actually adjust the buoyancy compensation to them as well. So we got some really unique baits. We kind of moved our designs in kind of a little bit different direction, giving the anglers a little bit more options when they're out there on the water.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and that topwater bite, a lot of people love that topwater bite. I know we talk about that. We've been talking about that today. Yeah. Watching those fish blow up on topwater, it's something spectacular.
Yeah, we came out with a hybrid frog this last year, 2017, and we introduced it at ICAST. And it's a popper frog, so it has a nice, the kind of cool thing about it is it has exoskeleton suits that are soft body. So we have a frog and a kind of a hula popper style body or skirt body. So you can change out the soft bodies. It does have glow stick capability as well, but our topwater frog has just been phenomenal up here. We really like our hookup rate on that. It has, we're using VMC weedless treble hooks on that trail below the lure just slightly. So it's very, very weedless. We can pull it through some really pretty nasty muck and stuff up here. But what's been really spectacular is the hookup rate. So when those bass hit those and pull those baits under the water, we just lean into them on that first strike when they boil. We just love our hookup ratio. Now we're using a cool material too. It's called a PEP material, so it's super, super elastic. A lot of people complain about their legs breaking off some of their frog baits. We're using a PEP material that's super, super, super stretchy. I wish we could actually show that on television for you guys, but man, it's just phenomenal. We've done really well with it. The legs articulate and kick perfectly. Yeah. So it's really durable bait. So it's a lot of fun. And I just love that top water to boil too. I mean, they hit that top water. It's just an adrenaline rush putting it to them. So it's fun.
So the science and the design behind these went into some deep thought to make a more durable bait, a longer lasting, a lot more natural presentation.
Exactly, yeah. And the popper, I like the little popper face. It gives a nice little splash. It really kind of wakes those bass up in the early morning. And man, it's just fun watching the water boil on it for sure. It's a good time.
Patrick, you mentioned something a little earlier about colors. Is it always the same color and it changes colors because of the lure, or is it actually the glow stick has different colors?
No, that's an excellent idea. That's an excellent question. No, our lures are actually painted and designed pretty much like most lures. The difference is we have an internal chamber, and you can change out the different colored glow sticks. So I've been up in Canada fishing quite a bit too, and you'll be catching a lot of fish on blue lures all day long, and you do really, really well. Well, the next day, the blue's not working so well. You have to switch out to green. So being able to switch out the different colored glow sticks can actually help you out as well. So different depths of water. If we're out on Lake Michigan and we're trolling these lures in 75, 80, maybe even 100 feet of water, we'll use the blue glow sticks or the red glow sticks. It gives us more of that ultraviolet type color. If we're fishing more of a topwater bait, we want to use brighter colors, the brighter greens and brighter yellows.
Now, do you sell the sticks by themselves as well?
Yeah, well, they come in a replacement tube basically, and there's 6 glow sticks in each tube. So each glow stick lasts about 24 hours. So you get about 250 hours of fishing per tube.
And what is the suggested price on that?
Those are $2.50 on our retail price.
So it's very, very, very reasonable.
The glow sticks, and then go ahead, sorry, Robert.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I just said it's about a penny an hour is what it works out to be. So it's very, very inexpensive.
Wow.
Absolutely. And then the soft plastics, they come in, I'm sure they come in a multi-pack. And how many glow sticks come in if you buy, say, a soft plastic, so the paddle tails?
Okay, the soft plastic paddle tails will come in 6 packs. So you get 6 paddle tails, and then 2 glow sticks come with each one, and you can buy the replacement glow sticks. Now, guys, I got to tell you, about 80% of the time, maybe 85% of the time, I fish the lures just like they are. We don't use glow sticks. Typically, when we use glow sticks, it's either going to be super, super early in the morning, and I mean it's almost dark, and then we actually gives them a little pop when we're tossing back by those docks and the lily pads. Now, if we're fishing more in the evening, maybe I'll throw a red glow stick in, kind of give it a little burnt color in the afternoon or evenings, or if we're working real murky water. So if we're not up against those 3 situations, typically I throw the lures just the way they are with no glow stick.
Wow.
Having that ability to change those out show that fish something new, especially if you're in a tournament situation where these guys have been banging on the shore all day long and they're throwing similar baits. To have something different go by that fish, they'll react on it. They'll come out and pop on it. So just having something different to throw sometimes makes a huge difference while you're out there on the trail.
Kind of like the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Absolutely. That's one of the big things I touch on when I talk fishing is I like to, if we're in a tournament setting or if I'm out there on a setting that the fish are, there's a lot of bait around, you always want to present that bait in a fashion that's similar to what they're biting out there, but you want to make it just a little bit different. You want that bait to stand out because you want to have it look like that either that lame or sick fish or that fish that just it's one of the pack, but it just doesn't match. It gets those fish from anything from bass to redfish, snook. It really gets them fired up to go after your bait, vice anything else in the water.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Sometimes just having very subtle changes like that can make a huge difference. And they'll see the same type of stick baits thrown at them, same type of soft baits thrown at them. But if they see something that's tipped with a glow stick or something slightly different, I know the Ned rigs have been on fire for quite a while. So yeah, those kind of things. If you can just do something slightly different, and those fish will react on it. So it's kind of unique the way we kind of present our baits and slightly different on how the versatile they are. So you can fish them with or without the glow stick. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great option in the evening time too. So we've touched on that before. You want something, you can be throwing silver bait, silver side bait. You can be throwing pearl, and you could be throwing anything from the clear with the sparkle in it. And if they're just not biting and it's you're losing daylight, something with like a little red in it, you put that red glow stick in it. I'm sure it could make that world of difference for you from getting that fish or not.
Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of just boating one or two more fish and just having just a little bit different options out there can make a huge difference for especially the guys that are on the tournament trail for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are going to be at ICAST again this year?
Yep, we're slated to be there, so we plan on being there at ICAST. But yeah, we got a lot of new baits coming on board, so we're actually working on 3 new designs, so we're kind of excited to be pushing those out this year. So that's going to be really great. We've got a 4-inch hybrid swimmer that we're like, and then we also have a kind of a plug style bait that we're going to be using for trolling and for salmon, more open water bait. It's going to be a saltwater bait as too. You guys got some saltwater fishing down there in Florida, I hear. But
yeah,
we're going to be doing some. We got a J-plug style lure coming out that's going to be, you'll be able to put chum in it, you'll be able to add glow sticks to it, scent plugs, all different types of things. So it's going to be kind of cool when we introduce that one too. So that's going to be a spectacular one for some of our open water guys.
That's awesome. Yep, we're definitely going to be. Well, I will make sure, and I'll see you at ICAST this year. I will be there. I go there every year. Check out the new products for our store and what we can and do and do not have room for.
Well, good. We'll have to sit down and grab some iced tea, and I'll run you through some of the different baits we have. And yeah, that'd be great to get down and chat with you for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Meet in person finally.
I do want to mention that Patrick with Glow Pro Lures is one of our latest media partners as well. So welcome to the media partner group, Patrick. And those of you who are not familiar with what the media partner group is about, just send me an email. I'll be happy to give you the details. It's the word me, M-E, at riscalastevens.com. And I'll be happy to give you all the specifics about it. But wanted to have Patrick come on, tell us a little bit about what he does. And I know you're way up north right now. How cold is it where you're at now?
Well, we actually got some days that have been warming up here gradually. So some of the ice is coming off some of the inland lakes. So we're excited about getting back out on the lake to get some crappie fishing in here early spring, get after some of those smallies. But yeah, the inland lakes are starting to melt off. Lake Michigan's always been a fantastic fishery out there for the brown trouts. Big world-class brown trout out in Lake Michigan. So that's been going on here this early spring. And then up north, we got some ice that's coming off the lakes up north. So the guys are getting anxious to get back out on some open water. But the ice fishing this last winter has been phenomenal up north, up in Ashland, up in that area. They've done really, really well. So no, we're looking forward to having a great season this year. We're excited to be on board with you guys. So Riscal, it's been fantastic. It's been a great pleasure being able to talk with you guys down in Florida. I love Florida. We're going to be going down there next week doing some fishing. So we're going to be testing some baits right down there in the Tampa Bay area. So it'll be a lot of fun down there next week.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is a fun area to fish. Their fishery down there. It's on the Gulf side. It's not like we have it on our side that we have on the Gulf side compared to us. On our side, we have one current. We've got the Gulf Stream that runs just right offshore. With the further south you get, you'll still see the land from if you're fishing here in South Florida. Over there on the Gulf side, they have very small currents. They have their own multiple different ones in the Gulf. But the Tampa Bay side is a great time to fish. They've got a variety of fish in the bay over there. Everything from you'll see grouper in the bay all the way down to snook in the bay, redfish. You guys are gonna have a blast.
Yeah, we're gonna get out for a few days, so we're excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Try to get some filming down there when we're going down there too. So it'll be a good time to test some of the baits down in the southern waters of Florida.
Absolutely. So Pat, if somebody wants to go check out your product, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can check us out online. It's Glow, GLOPRO Lures, LURES.com. So it's www.glowprolures.com.
Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. We're up against a hard break, and we'll be right back. It's the Fish Florida Show with Riscala and Devin.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard, North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pest and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378.
You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
I grabbed my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Fish Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala, and I have my one and only co-host, Devin Canhigh. Good morning, Devin.
Good morning, good morning.
It is really a pretty day out there. I don't want to mess you guys up there, up north, but I guess it must be up to close to 70 now out there.
It was. I woke up this morning and on my way here, the temperature on the dash, it read 58 degrees.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the Florida sun does its work and it warms us up really nice throughout the day here.
Doesn't take long, right? Start warming it up.
Does not take long at all.
It's just so pretty out there. So my next guest is Kyle, and Kyle is with Dockside Service. What Kyle does is he comes to you with fuel. I thought that was the greatest thing. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on. Kyle is down in the Keys, by the way. He's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the Keys. Kyle, good morning, and welcome to the Fish Florida Show, and thank you for taking time to call in.
Good morning, Riscala and Devin.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing this morning?
Good. So what is going on a little further south of us in the Keys?
We're having some beautiful weather down here. Actually, yesterday and today and probably the next couple of days, it has been unbelievable. Everybody seems to be getting out on the water. The water has been glassy out there.
Wow. What's the what's the fish report down there? What's the fishing looking like? What have you heard?
From what we're hearing right now is people are catching a lot of tuna. It seems like the wahoo bite's kind of over now, but everybody's going for tuna and smaller muttons.
Are we talking blackfin tuna?
Yeah, blackfin tuna.
That blackfin tuna.
People are pulling in a ton of them. People are pulling 20, 30 a day, easy.
Are you kidding? Oh my
wow.
Goodness. Wow. How far out do you have to go to get these guys?
Not too far. I think they're in a few hundred feet of water. But, they're not running 15, 20 miles, at least from the reports that we're getting.
Yeah, so they're
on a lot of our customers are in the Upper Keys.
They're just on the backside of the reef, huh?
Yeah, from what we're hearing. But the wahoo, about a month ago, people were catching wahoo left and right, but we haven't heard too much wahoo at all. And there's no mahi at all.
Oh wow! Because we've been catching
some mahi, but smaller, really small.
We've been catching some mahi up here. The mahi bite's been pretty good, so maybe they're making the move down there.
Yeah, that could be. I don't know. It's a great question, but
we've had some.
It's been windy, but we're finally calming down. And yesterday and today, we've been swamped with business, and I guess everybody's coming down to Monroe County to go fishing.
Hey,
it's
busy is good.
There too. Yeah,
busy is good. Have you been able to get out on the water lately, or you've just been inundated with work?
Inundated with work, but I'm not complaining at all. Work is a good thing.
It absolutely is. It's a good problem to have when you're busy.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, we're running trucks up and down the Keys. We're going from Key Largo all the way down to Key West, and we're from the north side all the way down to the south side. We're running almost every day.
Wow. So how many vehicles do you have in service in the fleet now?
Right now we just have one. We'll probably have two by the summer. So we're kind of at a squeeze here, but we can usually fit everybody in the same day or the next day, as long as people give us enough notice to get fuel to them.
So it's still you can fit people in within a 24-hour notice.
Yep. I would say 90% of the time, 95% of the time we can do that. But there's no guarantees. All we ask is 24 hours notice. It really helps us out. The more notice you can give us, the better.
So typically, how long does it, what's the minimum amount for our listeners that haven't heard of you before and probably joining us for the first time? What's the, Kyle from Dockside Fuel Services, they come to you and they fill your boat for you. What's what's the minimum amount somebody has to purchase for your service?
So we have a 50-gallon minimum. We discount 5 cents a gallon for people that pay cash or check. And we also discount 5 cents a gallon for 150 gallons or more. And we serve all of the Keys. So we serve Monroe County from Key Largo all the way down to Key West. And we just have to be able to get our truck within about 200 feet of the boat because that's how much hose we have.
Wow.
Most of the time that's not an issue. But, once, just depending on the property, sometimes we have issues with that.
And so typically somebody can, if they have their boat docked at their house, and because I know there's a lot of homes out there that they do have water access, you can come right to their home and fuel their boat?
That is correct. That's what we do. A majority of our businesses is going to residencies and small businesses around the Keys.
Yep, and from before, you guys are pretty much, you guys, to bring the fuel to you, it's less than if you had to go to the
yes, that's correct.
To the marinas, correct?
Yep.
Price less.
Yep. We're priced in between the street prices and the marina prices.
Hey, that saves you a trip.
Yeah, definitely. It saves a trip. And a lot of the marinas down here are not open. In the upper Keys and even some of the middle Keys, they are open, but I would double check to make sure that, I know the lower Keys, a lot of the marinas actually are open. I don't know if their tank's probably flooded from the hurricane, but if you're planning on going down there, I would double check to see where you're getting fuel and make sure they're still supplying if you're going to a marina.
So how long does this whole process take? If somebody calls you, say I call you today and it says, hey, Kyle, I need fuel in the morning at 8 a.m. What time do you guys start running to what's your earliest appointment, I would have to say?
It varies. Usually 6:30 in the morning, 6:37, and then sometimes we're delivering until 9:30 at night. It just depends. Wow. The actual delivery, our time at the house probably takes a half hour. It's relatively quick.
Wow. So, like I said, typically from start to finish, how long does it take you to fuel up a boat with the truck?
Probably about a half hour, 40 minutes.
To fill it all the way up?
Sometimes it's 15 minutes. Yeah. It just depends on the boat and how much fuel they need. But generally, we're in and out to get people back out on the water as quick as we can.
Gotcha. And is it only Rec 90, or are you guys doing diesel also?
We do diesel as well. Yeah. We do Rec 90 and diesel, diesel. We do not have, some people call and they ask for regular unleaded. We do not have regular unleaded. We just carry Rec 90.
So for the people out there that don't have a boat, the Rec 90 fuel, it's a fuel that doesn't have any ethanol in it. Ethanol is it's a corn byproduct. What it does is when it gets into your fuel lines on your boat and your tank, it will eat away and corrode your fuel lines and eat away at your tank on your boat.
Are the fuel lines rubber? Is that why?
It really depends on the boat.
It depends on the boat. It'll eat away your fuel lines. It'll eat away any kind of rubber it has contact with. And at the same time, if you leave a gas tank with regular unleaded in there, you can get water in there pretty easily.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that getting water through your fuel lines is not the greatest thing.
It's definitely not the greatest thing.
For sure.
20 miles offshore, you got water in your fuel line. Yep. You're in trouble.
It is definitely worth it to fill your boat with the Rec 90 Vice, trying to fill it with the regular and put stable or something like that in it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's why everybody runs Rec 90. Some people run regular unleaded. I think they're crazy for doing that, but some people do it.
Yep, absolutely. I see some people buy the stable product, they'll add it and they'll run regular fuel. I'd rather spend the little extra money, put Rec 90, and I have that peace of mind that I know my boat's going to be running good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think a lot of times you actually see newer boaters putting regular unleaded in because they don't know any better. They see it's a little bit cheaper and they think, I'll just put regular unleaded in. And I think sometimes they end up paying the really expensive price of.
Yeah, in the long run, you end up paying the expensive price because if you had to cut that gel coating off the top of your boat to pull out your fuel tank and replace that, or it's the cost it doesn't outweigh.
causes a huge mess of problems. Yeah, I completely agree.
Absolutely. So, Kyle, if somebody wanted to use your service and they were coming down to the Keys, tell them how they can find you.
You can find us on Facebook. You can Google Dockside Fuel Service in the Keys, or you can give us a call, 305-923-6509. And you can actually call or text that number, and we pretty much pick it up 7 days a week.
And somebody will always be there
in the morning
to get you an appointment.
Yep, we do a pretty good job of fitting everybody in, working with schedules.
So, with you said your service it's been so busy. If I wanted that first appointment in the morning, how early should I call in?
If we're coming up on a weekend, it's a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. The more notice you can give us, the better. We really do a good job of squeezing everybody in. But if you're calling during the middle of the week, it won't be an issue at all. This weekend was a little bit crazy. It's a holiday weekend, and the weather has cooperated. And it's unusually nice out right now. So I think that kind of contributed to everybody getting out there.
Very nice out right now.
I told everybody it's your picture perfect Florida weather. I mean, there's no other place to be than here, if not even the Keys, because everywhere else in our north of us, all the other states, we're
ticking them off.
Yep, they're slammed with that cold weather. It's unseasonable snow that's been happening.
Hey, Kyle, while I'm thinking about it, I know that you were there for the Quest for the Ring, the gifting suite. Did you follow up on any of the other meetings that they had?
As it relates to the tournament?
Yeah. Did you follow up on any other meetings like the captain's meeting or something else that they had? Were you there for that?
Yeah, we ended up going to the captain's meeting. But honestly, I think the captain's meeting, a lot of the guys there, they went in, they kind of had their meeting, and they got out. I think they were getting back with their teams, and I don't know if they were discussing some sort of strategy or the plan for the next day. But a lot of those captains were in and out pretty quick at that.
And were you able to service any of these people?
We did a couple, not as many as we had hoped and expected, but we did a few from the tournament, yeah.
That's great because
it's one of those tournaments that it's not necessarily based in one area, and we only serve Monroe County.
That's true.
So, some of the boats were down here, but some of them were also way up in Palm Beach.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a really huge area that they opened up for fishing for that tournament.
And I know that you are, again, this is another one of our media partners, Dockside Service, and we were there at the Quest for the Ring gifting suite, and I just wanted to express how Victoria, who is the founder of the Fish Florida Media Group, was there. I mean, I'm not sure how to describe it. People were coming over to see what we had, and one of the first things she would do is introduce Kyle or introduce that prospective client to Kyle, going out of her way to see to it that Kyle got some attention for nothing more than showing up. So this is what you can expect with the media group, the Fish Florida Media Group, someone who has dedicated their time and their efforts for you and lives up to the promise. And I think that if I ask Kyle, and I'm going to ask him, Kyle, do you think that it was that Victoria delivers more than 100% of what she promises?
I think there's no doubt about that. She was definitely up there pushing our product and getting our name in front of some faces out there. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
I was very impressed at how she took the time to. It was one of those things where nothing was in a rush. It was done very methodically, very politely, very professionally. And took the time to introduce people, bring people together, build relationships. That's one of the things I talk about over and over, building relationships. Because if you have a one-time deal, that's not the same as building a relationship with someone so you can look forward to over and over and over again. And the underlying thing about building a relationship is if you can build one where both parties benefit. And I believe this is what will happen. If someone has a vessel that needs fuel and you call Dockside Service, you're not only going to benefit from them coming to fuel your vessel for you, you're going to benefit from the price that they're going to charge you for fueling your vessel. So you benefit, Dockside Fuel benefits. It's the founding of a great relationship. This is what they want for those people who are down there in the Keys that they can service. This is what they're looking for. Dockside Fuel Service, Kyle or Andy Sikora And you can reach him at what, 305? 923?
305-923-6509.
And one more time, Kyle, if you would, the website.
The website is dockside-fuel.com.
Nice. And Kyle, are you guys on social media, Facebook?
Yeah,
Again?
we're on Facebook, Dockside Fuel, on Facebook, Dockside Fuel Service.
Give them a like, everybody, Dockside Fuel Service. If you're ever in the Keys with your boat, these fine gentlemen will be more than happy to make sure your boat stays topped off and full and get you back out there fishing. Thanks for calling in, Kyle.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Hey, wish you a wonderful day, Kyle. Get out there and enjoy it. I know that you will. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up against the break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. It's the Fish Florida Show with Riscala and Devin.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
When selling your luxury home, you need someone who understands your expectations, someone familiar with the industry, who can sell your home faster and get you the best price, someone who can provide you with a full-service brokerage firm. That someone is Devin Canhigh with Exit Realty. Devin is a veteran who has grown up in South Florida and spent his life in Palm Beach County. With Devin's marketing strategy and his network of contacts, you will be pleased at how quickly, smoothly, and easily your home can be sold. Not sure what your home should sell for? With Devin on your side, you will receive a free evaluation. Call Devin today at 561-281-9138. He's ready to serve your needs and expectations. That's 561-281-9138. Devin Canhigh with Exit Realty, 561-281-9138.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Stop fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF radio network. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show with Riscala and Devin. We have had a variety of people on this morning talking about several different things. And one thing that kind of sticks out in my mind is the idea of the full moon versus no moon fishing kind of thing. Because here in Florida, of course, right now we're enjoying very cool weather, but typically we have two seasons here. We have hot and hotter. And so when you're out there and it's blazing hot, it's always nice to be able to go out like on a full moon. I've always enjoyed full moons because there's always more light out there. It's always nice to be able to go out on a full moon. Of course, it's a lot cooler and you can see a little bit more. But from what I'm getting from Devin and from Patrick, who called in earlier, there's a distinct difference between fishing on a full moon and no moon at all. And from what I understand, it is definitely better on a full moon.
Yeah, for me, I like fishing I really like fishing the front side of the full moon, like going into the full moon. Mm-hmm. the like 3 days before the full moon,
Mm-hmm.
and then the backside of the full moon. So not the day after the full moon, but the next 3 to 4 days, the fishing really turns on. The fishing lights up. I know we talked to Kyle earlier. He said they haven't seen a lot of wahoo because we're on a no moon right now. And he said about a month ago. So again, that's how the moon phase goes. And it takes about a month for the moon to phase in full.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the reasons why they haven't seen many wahoo down there. But the wahoo really, really turn on for some reason 3 or 4 days before the full, and then 3 or 4 days, sometimes up to 5 days after the full moon. And wahoo here in Florida, it's a really popular fish, wonderful eating fish.
It is crazy fish to catch.
Yep. Crazy fish to catch. They will peel line off that reel. When I wahoo, typically when I like to eat wahoo, I will just do it. I'll have it on ice, fillet it down, get it back on the ice nice and cool, and then I'll eat it either ceviche or I'll eat sashimi, or I'll make my own sushi at home with the wahoo, or I'll even blacken it and get a quick sear and eat it medium rare.
In the days when I had my my Wellcraft, we had 2 bins down right in the floor. I don't remember how many gallons they were, but we would fill that with ice. And as soon as we'd be out there catching dolphin, mahi-mahi. And as soon as we caught the dolphin, it would go right on the ice. And by the time we got back to the dock, they would be nice and stiff so we could fillet them. It would really worked out great. It was a wonderful idea. I don't remember who gave it to me, but it was a great idea.
Oh yeah. When we're fishing out there, we'll have it right on the ice, and then as soon as they come in, they go into an ice slush that's a little bit of water and ice, and it really gets those fish nice. It makes it super easy to fillet.
Easier. Yeah, a lot easier when it comes time to do the cleaning.
Absolutely.
So if we were going to fish today, let's say we're going to go fishing today, and of course we're here in Palm Beach, and wanted to do some shore fishing. What do you think?
Shore fishing today, it's, if you wanted to shore fish today, any day in Florida is always a good day to fish.
That's true.
Any day in Florida is always a good day to fish, even if you don't catch fish, or if you do catch fish. Just being out there on the water, it's fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Fun time. I would, at this time of year right now, I would probably try to target look for places that have some rock patches and some walls. The reason being is this little cold snap that we have. Those rocks, those seawalls, they retain the heat from the daytime.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So in the evening time or in the early morning time, they'll still radiate heat. That's what really draws those fish to those areas too. So that's a good place to fish. Right now, you'll probably still catch some snapper. I heard the snapper bite was pretty good. And that's everything from the little mangroves inshore. And you'll also catch by the docks. I know you know the sheephead. Sheephead will bite by the docks also. You fish those with a little sand flea. Those are great fish to have. But if you're offshore fishing, my tips and tricks this week is I would troll in the morning, and then coming into the day, if you know how to live bait, get the live bait out. And if for the people that are learning to kite fish, it's a great time to kite fish. For bait wise, I like to live bait when I'm offshore, and while I'm live baiting, I'll bottom fish also. So I'll cover the whole water column.
The kite fishing thing, you mentioned that I never realized how sophisticated kite fishing can get. It really is amazing how sophisticated it can be. And I'll see about getting Mike Simcoe. Mike Simcoe is with kitefishing.com, I believe is his website. He is somebody who is very knowledgeable. I'll see if I can get him on next week to answer some more questions about kite fishing, because we are coming into the season now, right?
We're coming off of the sailfish season right now, and then we're coming into the kingfish season. Dolphin season's coming into swing. The wahoo season is it's still here as always. You just got to play the moon phases right. And with the kite fishing, man, for a show wise, those kingfish, they blow up on the kite, and it's incredible. They sky on those baits. And kite fishing is it's a popular thing on a day like this, that we have a little bit of wind. So I'll see when we get on the water a little later today, if you have at least a 5 to 8 mile an hour wind. You can get that light kite up.
Yeah, he was explaining how in my mind, in my ignorance, I thought kite fishing was, kind of like you go fly a kite kind of thing, you tie a fishing line to it, but I wasn't even anywhere near close to that. And he's described to me how there's different kinds of kites. One of them, if I remember right, it can be in as little as 2 to 3 mile an hour wind, and this thing will stay afloat.
Yep, and in that sense also, and if you don't have a lot of wind out there and you still want to kite fish, Riscala, people will attach a helium balloon to their kite.
There's an idea.
To take their kite up. Yeah,
Wow.
that's what they do. You you go to Party City, you get one of those small helium things, and they make special balloons that attach to your kite.
Wow.
They sit right in the back of the kite, and they take your kite up when you don't have a lot of wind. So,
Yeah.
and there's different types of kites also. There's the light wind kites, then there's your regular kite, and then there's a heavy wind kite that can go all the way up to 25 mile an hour winds.
Wow.
25 plus.
Wow. And when you're fishing this, from what I understand, again, I'm learning about all this new technology. To me, new technology. When they're fishing, this is similar to an outrigger, right? It's set up almost like an outrigger setup. It's on a clip that snaps when you get a hit.
Yep. So what happens is we fish usually a setup that has 3 clips on it.
Uh-huh.
So the kite rod, it's a short little rod, probably about maybe the whole shaft is the shaft of the rod is 2 feet big. Then it sits onto a detachable butt is the one I usually like to fish. So your whole rod from the ground up, maybe about a little bit taller than
About 3 or 4 feet. Yeah.
3 feet.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that are really into it have electric reels.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose of that is just to bring the kite back down and to reset your baits without hand cranking, getting your arm falling off, and to get bait out faster. But it's similar to an outrigger clip. You put your kite up, and when it comes to your first clip, you clip the fish on, and then you send the kite a little further up, and that's going to take your first bait out. And then you have to adjust your reel to keep. You want to present that the bait is just below the surface of the water, causing some commotion.
Yep. You're kind of mimicking what do they call them, the flying fish. I used to see those all the time.
You're mimicking more of a distress fish in the water.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep, it's like a distress fish, and you're presenting that fish right at the top of the surface of the water. And you get three of them out there, and what a lot of boat owners do, so they don't have to cut holes in their extra holes in the front of their boat, they'll have what they'll call a trident. So it sits in your one rod holder, and all 3 of your rods sit on that.
Yeah.
And the purpose of that also is to keep your rods grouped together, because you have to constantly be adjusting your baits to keep those baits presented correctly.
Wow. And typically you can use whatever bait you would be normally trolling, right?
No. What bait we like to use when we're out there is typically here in Florida we'll use goggle eyes. They look similar to a blue runner, but they have a way bigger eye.
Oh.
And you can even use blue runners too for out there when you're kite fishing.
Wow. So they're using live bait.
Live bait, yes.
Wow. And the kites I know can range anywhere from, I think a low value kite would be somewhere around $300 or $400 all the way up into $1,000.
No, the kites are actually a little cheaper than that. You can get kites from anywhere from about $120, $150 up.
Oh.
But the whole setup is going to cost you some money.
Would it be realistic to think that you could do this from shore?
No, it's not. It's not one thing. It's not something you would be doing from shore.
You really do have to have a boat in order to be able to utilize it properly.
Absolutely.
Wow. So what can we do from shore? What else? You know, we had this guest on, and for the life of me, I can't think of his name, but he had this cannon, for lack of a better description. This thing would shoot your bait out like 300 yards offshore.
Yeah, they're coming up with such innovative ways to put your bait out. Shore fishing, you know, when I'm shore fishing, I like to I do a lot of more inshore fishing for snook, redfish, and trout. If I'm fishing the beach or if I'm fishing the pier, there's a lot of different ways you can do bait presentation. I like to fish mainly artificials. So you can fish suspended lures, you can fish everything from topwater lures to even soft plastics also, from if you're fishing from the pier, if you're fishing from the shore.
Wait a minute, you said suspended lures?
Suspended lures. So what suspended lures are is it's a lure that has a little lip on it, so when you drag it, when you start cranking in, it'll dive down to a certain depth and it'll wobble. So it's a suspended lure.
It's got like a tongue on the front of it. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yep, that's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah. And so when you say suspended, in my mind, I'm thinking you're just letting it sit there?
No, you're reeling it. When we say suspended, it means it doesn't sink.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't float. It kind of just hangs out in the water column until you reel it. Yeah. And that's one, the one with the lip on it, the suspended lures, even crankbaits do. It's a great lure for a novice fisherman to use if you're just getting into the artificials.
Mm-hmm. You reel it and it dives down, and then you stop and it comes back up, and you reel it and it dives down.
Yeah, and even those, all you want to do is just a little slow crank. You can twitch it every once in a while, jig it, and then just keep reeling. Those baits have little ball bearings in them.
Oh,
tiny little rattles.
Oh, yeah?
They make noise under the water, and that's what really attracts.
So it
the
makes
fish.
a vibration as well.
Yep. The color, the movement, the vibration, all
Wow.
that's what's going to attract the fish. And like I said, from the inshore stuff, if you're fishing the beach or if you're fishing the pier, it's a great lure to use if you're just getting into the artificials.
I didn't know that they had. Wow, this is a learning experience for Riscala, ladies and gentlemen, this morning. I've learned so many things. I didn't know they had ball bearings in them.
Yeah, a little one. You take them and shake them.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Tiny little beads in them.
And I've seen one that was advertised a while back that was electric. You plug it in USB, and then when you get ready to fish, you unplug it and you turn it on, and it thinks a little motor in it. It makes this vibration, supposedly creating a vibration in the water and making the predators think it's a fish in distress.
I can make a lure without a USB do the same thing.
Can you imagine? This is how sophisticated. When I was growing up, I'm not kidding you. This is the truth now. We have saltwater canals where I grew up, and I grew up in Coral Gables. And we have saltwater canals, went right out to the bay. We had all kinds of fish in the saltwater canals, anything from snook. I've even seen sharks in there, but they typically didn't last very long. And we would go fishing. When we would go fishing, we would take no bait with us. We would take a small tackle box and a rod. We would go down to like the bridges. There were oysters that were growing alongside the shore there. We break the oysters open. We had this thing called a hair hook. We'd go catch these little shiners, and we'd use the shiners for bait.
Oh.
And you would catch, oh my gosh, we would catch grouper, snapper, just about any kind of a predator fish, all the time. Now, today, those unfortunately are not the way that it was back then. But it was so much fun. This is how simple it used to be. And now we're talking about lures that you turn on.
Yeah, and the live bait still works for the like I said, if you're going out there and you're not you're not used to using the soft plastics or the artificials, you can still live bait fish with a thread fin. You can always use small finger mullet also, they'll cast in some finger mullet out there.
Yeah.
Use some people use the sliding cork method, and you can throw those up against the seawall, the bait right up against the seawall. I mean, you really don't want to smack the bait against the seawall, but as close as possible. And work that seawall line. And you can, if you got the technique down, you can make that little mullet do whatever you want along the seawall.
Yeah. And make it act like it's in distress.
Well, it is already in distress.
But even more.
But you can make it swim the direction you want in there.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to get fish. Don't even rule out shrimp. If you go to your local tackle store, get a couple dozen shrimp. And a lot of people say, oh, I want the big shrimp,
Yeah.
This time of year, I suggest scaling your baits down, going with those little smaller shrimp, because that's what's running. It's the Biscayne shrimp even up here. It's if you see the shrimp in the water, they're a lot smaller. You don't want that big, massive shrimp in the water because it's not typical for what the fish are feeding on. Always go with what the fish are feeding on. If up here, it's the shrimp are running, like we talked a couple weeks ago, the shrimp are in the white shrimp they're running in the Keys, so the Key West shrimp. Always take into account for what bait's out there before, especially if you're shrimp fishing, and don't go out and get that big shrimp because it's not something that's going to look typical in the water.
So when let's, for example, now you're fishing with shrimp and it's live shrimp. When you hook this thing, how do you hook it?
So, hooking shrimp, it's such a subjective thing. It really depends. I like to hook mine. You can either hook it right behind the head, you can hook it in the tail, you can hook it in between the eyes, but you don't want to hit their brain. You'll see that little black spot. You can hook it right in between their eyes. It all depends, really. It's such a subjective question on where you like to hook the shrimp. You can ask 10 different fishermen where they like to hook
and
you'll probably get about 7 or 8 different answers.
I like to hook them in the tail, right through the back of the tail. That seems to make them flip more, more action. And I typically like to use them with no weight when possible, and let them just kind of go do their thing out there.
And I like to hook them right between the eyes. They don't last as long, but if you're fishing with the bail open, shrimp swim backwards, so they're pulling that line out, and I feel I feel like that's a more natural presentation. So when those fish do hit that shrimp, they're hitting it from the tail first,
right?
And they're going to inhale the whole thing. So that's why I like hooking it where I do.
What about fishing? Like if you're going to fish with these things that we call the goggle eye. Now you're out offshore and you're fishing with this goggle eye. Where do you hook it?
So goggle eye, I can't let out my secret where to hook the goggle eye. But typically what people like to do is they'll hook it. You can either hook it right between their eyes. You'll see their nose.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go through that area, but you want to keep it kind of close to the surface. You don't want to break you don't want to get that hook through the inside of their mouth, and you hook it there. Some people fish what they call a stinger rig. What they'll fish is a treble hook off the back of it.
Oh.
You'll get some people that will use circle hooks, some people that use J hooks. That's, for the main hook. Some people use wire, some people use, smaller wire.
Mm-hmm.
Typically in the clear water, I'll spend the extra money.
Wow.
And I'll use titanium.
Mm-hmm. Okay, don't remember that thought, Devin. Don't forget that thought. We'll come back and pick it back up again. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got up against a break. It is the Fish Florida Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
You've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit Habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Hello, I'm Hector Elizondo, and I want to talk to you about getting older. My body hurts, my joints ache, and sometimes I forget. I forget that doing all your own scenes for a movie isn't always the best decision, especially when you're galloping high speed on a horse named Archibello. So yes, my body hurts, but it's not because of my age. It's because I'm living my life.
Don't let life pass you by. Take care of your brain health. It may just help you stay on top of your game.
Oh, Archibello!
Learn more at brainhealth.gov.
Hey y'all, Cedric the Entertainer here with Niecy Nash, taking a break from shooting The Soul Man to introduce you to Patience.
Hi.
Patience is a patient at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for anything because all a family should worry about is helping their child live.
St. Jude won't give up until they end childhood cancer, sickle cell, and other deadly diseases.
Because of you, there is St. Jude.
Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
WDBFradio.com. 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 I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Fish Florida Show. An honor and a privilege to be with you. We've had several different guests on this morning. With always, we try to have a wide variety of information, anything that has to primarily do with fishing. But we also, as you're well aware, if you've listened to the show, we also do some stuff about hunting and some of the other things that are out there. Primarily stuff that is related to outdoor activity and that kind of thing. And the next guest that I have coming on has a very unique product, a product that I believe today more than ever, a product that is needed for anybody who has anything that they want that has of any value to them that they want to keep. And what she has is a product that allows you to track whatever that might be. Anything from an aircraft to a boat to a jet ski to a snowmobile to an individual, for that sake. They range in size from something as small as can fit into your pocket into something as large as maybe twice the size of a pack of cigarettes. This is a global system. It allows you to know whatever that tracker is doing, wherever it is on the globe. You can find out, you can know where it's at, if there's movement, if there's no movement. There's a lot of twists to this product, and I, for one, am not the one that can explain them all to you. That's why I wanted her to come on and tell us a little bit about it. So I believe she's on the line with us now. Good morning, Carolyn. Thank you for taking the time to call in, and welcome to the Fish Florida Show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me back again this Sunday.
Oh, it is an honor. So tell us, I'm so intrigued with your product. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we do waterproof satellite GPS tracking systems. And what's so great is someone can literally take it out of a package or I could hand it to them and it's a live tracker by the time they get it. So they can put it right on their boat, trailers. Most of the business here local is, of course, the marine business and boating and fishing. So it allows the boat to be tracked if folks are out on it for the day. I have an example this morning. There's a gentleman out in North Carolina way offshore. And he just sent us a little message saying that the wives love it because they'll know if he's overdue, when they're on the way back, get the dinner ready, get the barbecue grill up. So for safety, if somebody's overdue, it's a great float plan device, and everyone has access to the location. For theft, secondarily, if somebody steals something, a boat gets taken off a boat dock, out of a locked chained yard, then the tracker starts tracking after it moves 500 feet and continues tracking every 10 minutes until it stops for 5 minutes. So if somebody takes it and puts it in an aircraft hangar or gets it to the boat ramp to pull it out and steal it, you've got every 10 minutes, you've got a pretty good track of where this boat or whatever it is getting stolen.
And what do you think? I mean, I have my own personal opinion, which I'll share with you in a minute after you answer the question. What do you think the odds are someone being able to recover that equipment by having one of your trackers on there versus not having anything on there?
Oh, having a tracker, every boat that we've had to recover, and thankfully there's only been about 6, everyone has been recovered before it got to its destination, which is good because the tracker has no antenna visible, people don't know that they're being tracked. So they're not starting to disassemble the boat en route to another island or down the coast or on a trailer. They really just don't know. So whenever you see them pull in for gas or you see them coming into an inlet in the Bahamas, usually law enforcement can intercept them. And that's exactly what happened a couple of years ago. A boat was stolen in Bimini, We've tracked it all the way to Freeport, and law enforcement was at the Freeport Inlet when these guys were coming in, getting ready to disassemble and take the boat apart.
Now, if you can imagine using that example, the boat was stolen in Bimini and was recovered later. If that boat did not have a tracker on it, what do you think the odds of them being able to recover that boat are? Slim to none,
the odds
in my opinion.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
Because even here, now what we tracked it for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and they did 52 miles an hour. They didn't touch anything. So we tracked it, and we actually saw them when the tracker stops for 5 minutes. The tracker goes back to at rest. So we were able to see they were floating outside of one of the inlets. We sent law enforcement right to that inlet over by Port Lucaya and recovered the boat. And recently in Pompano, a gentleman had his own personal boat stolen, a boat dealer, and had no tracker on it, and it was found the next day fully stripped in Miami. So the zero recovery chance with a tracker.
Yeah, I mean, even if let's say that God forbid you don't have a tracker in your vessel. Your vessel gets taken, and you, quote, recover your vessel. What are you going to feel like when you look at your vessel and they've taken your motor, they've taken everything that had any value, whatever that might be, electronics, two-way radios, whatever that might be, all of that has been stripped out, so you're left with nothing more than a shell. In some cases, they literally dump the hull on a private lot and steal the trailers because they can register the trailers easier than they can the boat. So you're left literally with nothing.
Yeah, and you know what? Do you really want that boat back? I wouldn't want it back. I don't want anything. Absolutely. So you move on to the next one, and you've got that terrible thought in your mind. So, it's even with the trailers, and I mentioned to you not too long ago, we came up with even an alarm system because, I'm thinking, just do I know if somebody's on my boat in my backyard? Not really. So we have an alarm system now that has to be hardwired to the boat, but it has snap sensors on it, door hatch sensors, and we put a 60-foot cable wrap on it. So if somebody goes on the backyard and unzips something or opens a door, it sets off a real loud siren. Some cases you can integrate it with your boat existing horns and spreader lights, so at least it's a really loud noise to hopefully deter someone to get off the boat. Or, off your trailers, or, if someone's pulling a trailer out of an RV yard, at least wake somebody up behind the counter and say, okay, somebody's taking a trailer out inside. So it's a good deterrent that's so affordable.
What if, God forbid, that you're out on the water and you have a tracker, you have one of Carolyn's trackers on your vessel with you, and something happens, your motor dies, whatever that is, and you have no way of reaching anybody. You're so far offshore, your cell phone's not working, your marine radio's down, you can't get a hold of anybody. Somebody knows that you're out there because you have this tracker with you, and they see that you're not moving. Guess what's going to happen? More than likely, that someone will be able to tell that you are in some kind of distress and get help to you. I mean, we had a very similar situation Carolyn had described about, I think it was down in the Keys, right, Carolyn? Somebody was going from one side of the state to the other?
Well, actually, a gentleman was sailing his sailboat from Key West back to Fort Myers, and he was about 40 miles offshore. He had a tracker, very slow-moving vessel, and he lost all power. So he was able to get one quick satellite phone, just call off saying to a friend that, hey, I lost, this is what's happened. That friend knew he had a tracker, so we followed him all through the night. They didn't know they were being tracked. They would have felt a little bit better knowing that we were keeping an eye on them. But if I saw that the boat stopped moving forward, we could have just very simply hovered over the boat icon, seen the latitude and longitude, and sent the Coast Guard. But we did see them keep moving forward, even though it was a long, long trip back, and made it in, 18 hours later. They were pretty scared. They told us how they had a flashlight and the stars, and that's it. They had no idea where they were.
Now, can you imagine the person who was concerned about the gentleman who was in the vessel on the sailboat that became in distress? Can you imagine how the information being given back to the person who is worried? You can't put a price on that. Yes, the person that you're thinking about is fine, and if there's any issue, we can send help. Can you imagine what that's worth? I mean, you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, I can tell you the wife doesn't like boating, and she was home, and just that she knew that I was in touch with her friend on the land, that, they were doing all right, and I kept sending her maps and screenshots, and they're, 40 miles offshore, they're 30 miles offshore, they're getting closer. It was peace of mind for her. It was, invaluable.
That's what I'm saying. It's priceless. You can't put a price on that. And typically to get involved with this technology, it's just several $100s. What does it take for the least expensive one of these?
Sure. So the trackers are $450, and the average yearly message plan is about $365. So it's about $1 a day to have your boat tracked. And don't forget, you also save in most cases on insurance. So vessels with trackers, even up to big sport fishes, are getting discounts for having a satellite tracker on board because of the recovery rate in the event it's stolen. So there's benefits all the way around. Sometimes even the discount covers the messaging cost for the year.
You know, sadly, we live in a time when if you don't take precaution for your valuables, someone will take advantage of that. And I don't know what's worse, having someone take something that belongs to you, or the feeling of knowing someone has taken something that has belonged to you. And then to pile on top of that, to add to the aggravation, the feeling of hopelessness because you have no way of knowing where that is. Years ago, I bought a car, a used car, and before I bought the car, I kind of thought to myself, what kind of car do I want? I don't want to buy a new car because if I'm going to buy a new car, it's going to devalue. So I bought, of all things, a silver Cadillac. Little did I know that every pimp in the world wanted my car. It got stolen 3 times in one year. And every time they stole it, it would come back all beat up. I really didn't want the car, but the insurance company said, well, we're going to fix it, and we're going to, you're going to keep it. 3 times this car was stolen. After the 3rd time, I said, I can't take this anymore. This was many, many years ago. We didn't have this kind of thing back then. Had I had this kind of thing in that car, I would have been able to recover my car before these people tore my car up, stole the wheels off it, just all kinds of things. And I don't know what was worse, the emotional feeling of being violated, you know?
Right. Well, say you're sitting at your desk and you have a tracker on your boat and you start getting messages every 10 minutes from your boat and you're not on it. Clearly somebody has it. It's so very easy if it's going on the road or if it's going down a canal to just log on, see where it is and actually get law enforcement involved. We'll make live links for law enforcement. So they'll see every 10-minute updated position and they could just do that on their phones. So with all the street overlay maps and everything, it's you can catch that the boat or the vehicle or whatever it is before it gets anywhere and apprehend it in a safe fashion. So you don't have to wait till it stops someplace. You can get it en route. That's the critical part of recovering assets.
My mind just went blank because I was going to ask you a question. My mind just completely went blank. I was thinking about something that I was going to ask you. Lord have mercy. Give me a second. Oh, sorry. It's completely gone.
No, that's all right. And you know what? Here's another thing too. Go ahead.
I know what it was. You mentioned to me a new product that you have, something about tethering.
Yeah, what's really cool about this is we came up with an alarm system that was developed for boats. So if right now if somebody opened my canvas zippers or snaps, it'll set off an audible alarm. Because right now I can't tell you if someone's on my boat in my backyard because I'm inside the house. So I don't know if they're stealing my equipment. So we also did it. It comes with a snap sensor. A door hatch sensor. If your boat's in the Bahamas and someone's opened a door hatch, or you have a trailer here that's in an RV yard or in your house, somebody opens a door, it'll set off an audible alarm. So at least someone could be woken up, someone could hear some ruckus and know that something's going on. The other good thing is we do a 60-foot cable wrap. So what that means is if I get to the Bahamas, I wrap all my fishing gear, I wrap my boat to the dock cleat, and I leave my boat. If somebody comes back and either just pulls my boat away or takes the effort to very simply unplug that cable rack, it'll set off the boat spreader lights, it'll set off the boat horn, and make a lot of noise. In a really basic situation, if you just have a trailer or 4 ATVs, this thing can be portable. It can be just a basic railroad battery, model railroad battery backup, the cable wrap, and a siren. So you could wrap these things outside a cabin if you're out hunting. Somebody goes to unplug it and take the ATVs, at least you guys are woken up in the cabin. So It's just something else that's a loud deterrent that can at least scare the guys away and say, well, maybe I don't want to take these 4 ATVs or these 4 jet skis. And it's very affordable. I mean, the alarms are in the $300-$400 range for, land-based assets and $800-$900 for a fully secured automated system on a boat.
Wow. Well, Carolyn, I know you're one of our newest media partners. Welcome to the Fish Florida Media Group. I am completely out of time. I want to thank you for calling in. That is Carolyn, and she is with atlastracks.com. You can find her online. Carolyn, enjoy your day. Thanks for calling in. It's the Fish Florida Show, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for the day. Thank you, Carolyn.